Is it ZC3 or is it Zach Coates now? What do I say here?
Yeah, I think we're officially repping the Zach Coates.
Yeah, we gotta hop in.
That's like what this is all about.
You gotta tell me about it. What's up with that?
I mean, I've been considering the name change for like quite some time. There's been a lot of scenarios where I go to tell people that my name is ZC3 and they look at me and go, "What?
CZ3? ZZZ?
C3PO?" Yeah, like
3ZC?
if you don't know me, it's just a random pair of letters and numbers, you know?
Yeah.
And I've been really tuning in to just kind of being myself, just repping Zach. And I was thinking about just doing Zach for a long time, but I felt like it was a little too vague, and there's a lot of Zachs on Spotify and Apple Music, so I kind of held off. I was like, no, I'll just keep repping ZC3. And I was like, what if I just like be Zach Coates? Like, there's a lot of artists that like first last name type deal, you know what I mean? A lot of very successful artists, and I looked on Spotify and Apple Music, and there wasn't a single Zach Coates, and it just feels right.
That's gonna be a good feeling, right? Searching that up, be like,
yeah, like, there ain't another one out there, and it's really horrifying because I initially, when I first decided to do this, I was just gonna transfer all my music. You know, like just change the name. In my head, that's what I could do. It's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna, I know it might be a pain, but like the Spotify and Apple Music pages will update and all my old music will come to this page.
Just transfer over.
Yeah, but as of like June 2023, Apple Music no longer allows that. And so I was like, I had to come to terms with almost just like a clean slate. So it's gonna be Zach Coates, and the album's gonna be the first piece of music on that page. And ZC3 music will all stay there. It'll be like a separate page though. So I'm initially starting over as far as Spotify followers, listeners, Apple Music listeners, numbers, starting fresh.
So you said that you want to switch up the name because the common misconception of how you say it, I say ZC3, like when somebody knows it, I'm like, dude, it's ZC3. Like, how are you messing that up?
Yeah.
You know? But like somebody's older, you know what I'm saying? ZZ. You feel like there's even some, maybe some imposter syndrome mixed up with that, to where when you're not hearing your real name when somebody says that, because you are so real and so emotional with your lyrics and words, that it might hit you wrong to even hear that, you know what I'm saying? Now that you've grown more into a more like personal artist.
For sure, yeah. And also I think you have to associate like being proud of your music and your name and jumping at any sort of opportunity to spread the name, you know what I mean? Like you should be able to at any given point, like, oh, you make music, what is it? Instead of like feeling timid and anxious, talking to someone like, hey, it's ZC3, you know what I mean? They're like, then it's like, what?
Zach Coates.
Yeah, it's Zach Coates, CK, with Zach. Like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll check it out. You know what I mean? Like it, and I'm the only one too, so there's no confusion there. And even on Instagram, there's really only one other like Zach Coates, and he has the one like that it just says Zach Coates. He hasn't been active for years. I tried DMing him. I was gonna pay him and shit.
It's CK too.
Yeah. So it's ZACKCOATS, and then mine has the underscore at the end. But it's very clear to tell. Like you'll be able to tell which one's me.
All right, so we got the name change. We got the reason. We got that. What's up? What's the album? What's the name? Give me just like the entry draft. Somebody just rolled on to your new Apple Music page. There's no ZC3 content on there. All there is this album. What are they expecting to see?
Oh, the album is called Nevermind, and I decided like early summer last year or late spring that I wanted to do an album. I had no idea how large of a project it was going to be, and I had no idea what was all going to come with it. And the best way that I can put it, it is a summary of the last year of my life. And there's a lot of very vulnerable stuff on there. I let it all hang out, and just be completely transparent. Like the last year has been like a struggle for me, like personally, mentally. Like it's not like life has dealt me very bad cards or anything, but I just feel like I'm getting to a point in my life where I'm shedding off like an old skin of myself and like honestly becoming the man that I want to be. And it's a very uncomfortable and at times very extremely lonely process. And it was really discouraging at times even too, because I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this is crazy. Like, I don't know if this is a good idea. Like, there was some doubt. Like, I don't know if I should be essentially starting over. I'm just like running it back to like ground zero. But at the same time, it just feels right. It feels like I have outgrown ZC3. I have outgrown that period of my life, and I'm excited to like show up and represent this new direction that I'm taking, like my personal life and my music, and the quality speaks for itself too. If you go back to my earliest songs on ZC3, there's some old ones that you can clearly tell I'm like
in
a
the
late
closet on some headphones.
yeah, like late teenager, you know, and I'll keep all that up there. People can go back on Spotify, SoundCloud, and obviously the ZC3 pages will stay there. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a great representation of where I'm at, like in my life, and I've been at it for 11 years, dude. So I mean, like I feel like the quality kind of speaks for itself these days.
Absolutely. So you mentioned that past year, past 2 years, maybe a lot going on, personal work, everything. Maybe you know what I'm saying. Would you say what gives you passion for music, and do you have anything in your life right now that's maybe a catalyst that's helping you, you know, or maybe there's something that's holding you back, but like what gives you like the passion, the power, the drive to maybe get in there and what make, like you said, what is going to be a longer album?
Honestly, I just feel like that's the only real way I'm able to work through things effectively on an individual level. Like talking to people and things, you know, like I found great comfort in that too, but only to a certain extent. And then if you talk too much and get too real and too deep with the people that are closest to you, you almost share the baggage with them, and like it rubs off on them to a certain extent. Like I think you should talk to your friends and everything and let them know where you're at. But when it becomes a repetitive thing, you kind of have to go figure it out on your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
And another thing that I just, you know, when you're in that place, you assign happiness with things that will come in the future. Like when the album comes out, I'll be good. Like last year, I was doing the long distance with Mary all year. Like when Mary gets here, everything will be fine. Like waiting on things to happen to feel better then. And then the things kept happening and I didn't feel any better. I actually felt worse because it got scary. I'm like, well, shit. Like I've been depending on these things to like lift this burden, and I just keep sinking deeper and deeper. And I really, really had to work through that. And ironically, now that I'm coming out on the other side of it, like it's been a lot of like personal work. I've been really getting outside, like the meditation, exercise, staying on top of that, and getting like my core self good. But listening back to these songs that I created late last year or months ago, it's exactly what I'm like learning in books and stuff now and like coming to the surface with now. It's like things that I'm telling myself from last year that I didn't know I needed to hear yet. It's been a really cool full circle moment, and it was just kind of like my own form of therapy, really. It just felt right. I felt like I needed to keep going, and it wasn't done until it felt done. And even then, I snuck in like 2 at the very end.
How would you say your creative process has changed through all this? Like, is there, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you going at this the same way? Because there's always that dilemma where if you talk to any creator, right, they're going to tell you something's not right? I need to switch environment. I need to get this piece of equipment. Before we started, Uno was talking about how, right, you can get your equipment, right? You can get your equipment. But are you willing to invest that time into that equipment? Are you willing to go frame by frame? Are you willing to go setting by setting? You know what I'm saying? Because people see somebody make a great track, you listen to it, it sounds great, you go, wow, that's awesome. They don't understand that, okay, 21 Savage just go over there, hopped in the studio. They think he just went in there. They think he just sang into a mic and then he put it on top of a beat and then that was that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you get into it and you're an artist, you go through, right? You just go on the track. You got to master it. You got to make the sound good. You know what I'm saying? Is there a different approach that you're coming at with this or are you kind of just going through the same thing? Because you said, waiting for this, waiting for that. Is there like a more disciplined headspace you have going into this?
Moving forward, I feel like there is now. I feel like that's a lot of what I learned in this process right now was that I'd been doing it the same way for so long. And honestly, I didn't take as much time as I probably should have on a lot of them. Like this is like, I'm talking all my music career. Because it's like, you get it, you want to get it done as quick as you can to the best of your current ability and get it out. You know what I mean? Like I'm rushing everything. And it got to the point where I'm rushing so much that I genuinely lost like the passion of what's going on.
It became more like a task or a job.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
It's like, well, maybe, do you ever get the feeling where like, well, especially coming off like a song that maybe does better, where like, oh, they're going to be expecting from here it to do these numbers or those numbers. Does that pressure ever kind of build on you a little bit or did it in the past and now it more so doesn't?
Yeah, I think every artist has to work through that. Like, obviously you want things to do good. Like you want your songs to blow, you know what I mean? And there's a certain sense of pressure, but I feel like the less that I've been thinking about that, the more just real I've been able to get as far as the tracks go. And moving forward, like I definitely want to take a different approach. I'm very excited to get back to like making singles and just doing how like at my own pace. And I genuinely really want to focus on one song at a time and seeing it through. And like there's just so many tools to learn more and go deeper. I felt like honestly I'd been relying on Dougie Oak. He's like mixed and mastered like the whole album, kind of heavily. Like I'd almost like get to a point where it's like I could fix a few more things, but I'm just gonna send it to Dougie and he can take care of it. Like I'll let him know. But I feel like I really do need to hold myself more accountable as far as the quality that I'm going after. Because then sometimes he would send it back. I'm like, well, that's not even what I wanted. I'm like, well, did I even do like the best that I feel like I was able to do on that? And I'm like holding someone else accountable for the quality that I want my shit to sound like.
And it's like, well, can you even really explain perfectly right what's in your mind to somebody else too?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
I feel like that's a common conception. I mean, misconception from person to person, where there can be some frustration built up.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you told me you wanted it to sound like this, and like that's what I did. But in your head, it's like, yeah, but when I said this and this, I meant that and that. Yeah. And you gave me this. The drum hit off here. My voice didn't come through like I wanted to. There wasn't the depth I needed. And then it can be kind of...
Exactly. And I mean, that's what it's all about too. I mean, it's creative expression.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like we do it because like we're passionate about it and we're creative and we should explore that more. And it really gets into the point. And honestly, it bled into all areas of my life where I'm just like rushing everything. And it's like, oh my God, I got to do this, then that, then this. And it's like, holy shit, like crippling anxiety and stress. And I didn't even realize, but like I had was addicted to it. And I'm still working out of it for sure. Like it's been a very hard personal struggle to where it's like my life is so good. I have so much to be grateful for. And I feel terrible. I am like sad. I'm irritable. Don't fuck with me. And I'm like, why? Like, why? I actually have so much going for me right now. But you just get so addicted to, oh, gotta do this, gotta knock it out, gotta go faster. But it's like, dude, I'm taking my time with shit. It's like, this is gonna take as long as it takes and however long it needs to take. And that's kind of the process. You know, there's a quote that you told me a couple years ago about like those monks doing a painting or something. Took them like a week. And then as soon as they got done with it, they destroyed it. Yep. Because it's about the process. Mm-hmm. And that actually really has stuck with me. Yeah. And it's like, it really is. Like when you're in there and you're rushing the recording process or even just like the writing process, like trying like, why? What is the rush? Like I do this because I love to do it and I'm passionate about it. Like this is what drives me most. Like just the other day, I've been working on these journal entries that like these books. I just finished Big Sean's book, Higher Up, and he has these journal entries at the end of chapters. And there's this one, he's just like, who do you want to be? You know, and then like write down things that like that person would do. And I wrote it down, and honestly, at first, I was just thinking like, I'm just thinking like career, like I want to be like an honest man, I want to be like a wealthy, like whatever. And I like it. I had a full circle moment. I was like, and I wrote artist musician. That's what I want to be. Mm-hmm. Like for sure, that's all I want to be. And like, what does an artist musician do? Like post consistently on social media, regularly doing shows, doing whatever he can to put it out there. What am I doing right now? Not that.
True.
It's crazy.
It's interesting the power of pen to parchment, you know? Like you can say things in your head all the time, but I feel like most of the time for people when you're in your head, that's just a back and forth jumble, right? Yeah. You can say, like you're saying, you can put a million thoughts in there, you can do a million things. Everything's probably going to be rushed, pushed, or not done correctly, but you take those 2 seconds, you write something down. You're more likely to do it and be proud of yourself when you do it because you see it and you can maybe cross that off the list.
For sure.
We're kind of going into the topic that we're in right now, kind of leaning off the album talk a little bit, but what's your idea of success in the creative industry? You know what I'm saying? We're talking about numbers. We're talking about creation. We're talking about doing your thing. We're talking about taking that deep breath and looking the fuck around for a second and being grateful. So to Zach Coates, what is success?
I like that question. As far as like in the creative world and like my music career, what success is, and I guess just in life, was just to accurately externalize the thoughts and feelings that I have inside to the best of my ability to what I picture in my head. And I know like I'm not quite there yet as far as like skills and knowledge goes, but I've never been more eager to learn more. Like I want to go deeper. So like success to me would be waking up every day with a smile on my face, enjoying the day, being present, making very high quality music that I feel like accurately conveys me as a person, and not trying to present myself as a rapper, like, you know what I mean? Or like an artist with like where the focus is wrong, like on the material things. Like I genuinely, I have found a lot of motivation to. It's shifted from wanting to be a person to do a bunch of shit for myself to where I want like my headspace to be in a good spot, and I want to do myself so hard and represent myself so hard that it inspires people to do the same for themselves.
Yeah. So going off that, what would you say to someone who's losing passion creatively?
You got to reconnect with life. You got to reconnect with life. You got to ask yourself what it's all about. I mean, we all go through stints like that. And one thing I would highly suggest is if vices are heavily involved, like drinking, smoking, and stuff, I would take a break from all of that. Like get back to your organic chemistry as a human being, and reconnect with the people around you that you love, and nature, and just kind of tune back in with yourself as a human being, like on that level before. And then the creativity just comes.
True.
That's the thing. Like when you're feeling like yourself and you're feeling good and inspired, like it will just come out of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's where people try to force it. That's also when you start making things you don't necessarily even like.
Yeah, I believe there's a managerial mindset, right?
Yeah,
and a creative mindset.
Yes.
And people who have a manager mind, they don't understand how a creative mind works, right? So let's say you're on manager time, right? Someone comes up, interrupts your task. You can deal with that interruption, go straight back to manager time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In creative mode, right? Let's say you're in the booth or you're playing a game, right? And somebody comes in and talks to you, you know, or like interrupts you or brings a high yield emotion. Your creative flow is kind of gone. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to be like, dude, I just need something for 1 second. Like why are you upset? You know, it's like I was doing this and this and this and this. And like, I know it doesn't seem like a thing, but it's just like, how do you find your flow state? Like what have you found that like puts you in the slot? Like you can't cause like you're saying, you can't force it, but sometimes there's some things you can do, some routines you can hit to where maybe you isolate, maybe you get in a social group. What is Zach doing to find the flow state?
So to be completely honest, there hasn't been a lot of like new creative moments at this point in time because I'm working so hard on like finishing the album up, and there's so much that comes along with that, and that's where like the manager mindset kind of kicks in, and I've had to kind of utilize that for now. That's where I'm at in this process. But what I have been doing, I've been feeling the creativity coming back, and I'm like genuinely excited to start creating again, and just like making one song, getting everything it needs for socials and dropping that sounds like so easy. And I think that's a big part of what I learned creating the album too. Is like the things that I used to overthink. It's like, dude, one song, like just focus on that, have a good time, and then drop it and run it up on socials. But the mornings right now, what get me in like a creative space right now, whenever I'm by myself, I wake up, I don't get on my phone for at least 30 minutes. Like no phone. 15 minutes of guided meditation, cold shower, and pray. And I'm not even like a super religious person. I'm a spiritual guy, so I wouldn't say I'm like praying to Jesus Christ or like God per se, and I'm not saying I don't believe in that either, but I do believe in a higher power, and like that's what feels good to me.
Yeah.
And just like reconnecting on that level, and you just be surprised at how much you feel like yourself. Not any one of those separate, but just like the combination of taking the time to like recenter yourself. Like, damn, that felt good. And like runs, I've been going on runs and just doing things for yourself. And then it just kind of comes when you are in a good flow state and you feel good. Then that's when the creativity really comes out. And I do work best alone. Like when it comes to the music and writing, I write very vulnerable music, and I do need to be like by myself most times.
It's like if like you were writing a book, right? You wouldn't want the audience to sit next to you and watch you write the chapters, right?
Yeah.
You'd want them to read the entire story at once. So to translate that to you, I feel like where you want to create solo, right? Then have these kick-ass shows with super high energy, you know what I'm saying? Where the audience is reading the chapters. You know? And then just like you're saying earlier, and what you want to convey in albums, it's personal, you know? You're not trying to push t-shirts. You're not trying to push ticket sales. You're trying to push Zach.
Yeah.
You know? And I think people are going to get that with the new you. Well, the you know?
It is like the new me. It is like, and like the me, like the old me wasn't a very good representation of myself. And I can't say like the old me, because I truly believe like I have outgrown the majority of it. I think I'm still like working the last of the skin off the feet type shit. Like I'm almost there, ready to shed the full skin off. But I do see like a new horizon, which makes me really happy and excited.
I have a legendary quote I want your thoughts on from the original General Nathan Coates.
he's gonna watch us being hyped.
Yeah. He says the past is perfect because it brought you to where you are today. Do you believe that? Do you think that everything that happened to where you are right now is exactly how it should have been?
Yeah, 1000%. Like absolutely. Like even like as far back as the childhood and everything, the people that come in and like mess with your life, you like those are necessary lessons to learn like what you don't like and I mean. Holding on to old traumas and stuff, like you go through that pain to realize like one day you can't bear it hard enough and you really have to start doing the work to get out of that. But that's also what makes you like more of an experienced human being, and that's like what creates more depth in life.
It's true.
1000%. That's how we learn.
It's true.
You know what I mean? It's
absolutely.
Like you fall on your face, like shit, that really hurt. I'm gonna do what I can to avoid that next time.
Yeah.
Fall on your face again.
The stove's hot.
It's like, yeah, dude, if I put an ice pack on that actually kind of helps. That's nice. You know what I mean? Like you have to fall, and that's the other thing. The biggest thing in all things outside of the creative realm, anything, any sort of desire, any goal you have, you just gotta go. Like you have to take action. I know I've been there. I have every excuse in the book too. I've used them all, but it's like no one starts and is great, like ever. Like how many times we've done this? Like we've set up cameras before and done this. Remember like the apocalypse one?
Yeah.
There's like wires hanging in the back, like. It wasn't great, but like
all in grayscale.
Yeah, exactly. And like the focus keeps, you know what I mean?
To
like the thing on the TV. So it's like you kind of just have to do it to realize like, oh, well, next time we have to do that to avoid that, or this came through this way. I didn't really, like fuck with that. Next time I'm gonna do what I can to avoid that.
Yeah, if there's not mistakes, there isn't growth, right? Yeah,
and there's just no lessons learned. Like you're just gonna be stagnant the rest of your life.
All right, so I have a question related back to album time.
Okay.
So transform me into your average internet user. Okay. I am scrolling Twitter. I'm scrolling Instagram, and I see Zach Coates album. Never heard of this guy. I'm gonna go give it a try. What's the songs? If there's any.
There's songs.
Like what are the 2 or 3? Every album has those little star next to the songs where it's just like, okay, like I'm gonna post this on my story because everybody's posting this one. You know what I'm saying? Where's the 2 or 3 I'm headed to like really get into it quick?
The first one is going to be Go Nuts, for sure. Go Nuts, I firmly believe, is going to be the heavy hitter. It hits the hardest. It's wavy. You've heard it. You know what I'm talking about.
Suburban classic.
Yeah. Go Nuts is fire. That's going to be like track 4. The whole thing's a wave. And that's the other thing, too. You never know how people are going to receive it. Like, Trust Myself on my previous album, people loved that one. I had no idea. Like, that one had a star. I was like, dang. But I did kind of pick some ones that I really, really like a lot earlier on in the album so people can get a shot. Like is the very first one, and it comes in strong and passionate and nice. And then like Cheers is number 2, and it's more of like a country real vibe. And like it's all over the map, honestly. But I firmly believe Go Nuts is going to go crazy. There's a couple really fire rap ones. Well, honestly, bro, I couldn't tell you. I genuinely couldn't. I'm very passionate about Go Nuts. I think Go Nuts is going to be extremely popular. As far as the rest, however people perceive them, honestly.
That's true because, I mean, music is just so much different for everybody.
Yeah, like I could tell you which ones are going to be the most fun at shows. You know what I mean? Like this bitch at shows is going to be crazy. Gang Gang, Sit Back Down. I might even throw some Stinky McStinkbot on at the shows.
Stinky McStinkbot. That, if I had to say one, go do that one first.
See, and that's the other thing. I feel like the titles on this one are really intriguing. Mm-hmm. Like they're not super basic titles, which I was super proud of too.
Yeah, that's major because honestly, like artists I listened to my entire life, they could post something if the title is just like love. You know? I'm like, man, I better see like
Kid Cudi has a song called Love, and I love it. Yeah. But it's like
I'm not clicking on that. Like it's gonna have to stumble upon me, you know?
Yeah, like I have one. It's called Coffee and Croissants. Fuck with that one. Coffee and Croissants is sick. Even Go Nuts. ... is just spelled out DOT.
Some people are looking for like a specific type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? So if you kind of can hint towards that, if you can put that on the cover of the book, they say don't judge a book by a cover. Sorry, every single person in the entire world judges everything by the cover first.
Yeah.
You, like, as a human, you visually analyze something, you form an opinion about it, and then you form a second opinion about it after the fact, you know? So like, you got to be able to, you got to hook the fish.
For sure. And honestly, that's, I feel like is spot on. Like within those first 6 songs, there's like passionate, some nice flows. There's like some country-esque vibes. There's some sad vibes. There's some hype vibes. Like everything. And like, I'm very proud of the album as a whole. Like, everyone is going to really be able to feel the diversity and the vibe and everything. There's so much good music on this album. And I'm very, very proud and excited to write my name on there. Like, I did that. Super stoked.
So it's Zach Coates. The album's Nevermind. Do you have anything you want to say? Like closing thoughts, closing messages, shout outs to anybody that's helped you along the way? Or is this just Z is here, changing, on the way?
Well, Z is here. He is fucking changing. He's on the way for sure. But like, Mary has been a huge help. She's been helping me through like a lot of personal stuff, which has been awesome. Yeah, she's over here to the side. Shout out the boys always. Shout out Dougie, because Dougie Oak, without him, like I really couldn't have done it the way I did at all. Like Dougie's been helping me out a lot. I actually think Dougie's gonna fly out for the album release show.
That'd be fine.
Yeah, never even met him in person. It's cool to meet people on the internet these days.
Hell yeah.
But also, I would just say, regardless of like who you are, like what you're doing, it's just really, really important to take the time to take care of yourself. Like focus up and really just recenter with yourself. Take care of yourself first. It's not a selfish thing to do. I mean, a selfish thing to do. It's very, very selfless, and it rubs off on the people around you. Like, be a good example. Be the person that people look up to, and do it for yourself. Don't do it for any other reason. Don't do it because you want to look a certain way for people to perceive you as. Like, you just go out and live the life you want to live because you want to live it, and you only get one of them. And that's what I'm doing. I love making music. I'm making a big change right now. This album's going to be a staple, but don't think I'm going to drop this 25-song album and be done. Like, I'm ready to start making singles again, and I'm going to start cranking them out. Learned more in this last year than I have a very long time. In my other 26 years combined, I would say, in this particular era. And I am genuinely excited to let it rip. Get back on stage and get after it.
TTG, turn our train to go for real. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, dude. It's go time.
I'm excited for you, man. Thanks for coming out here, sitting down, and inviting me out to pick your brain a bit.
Yeah,
it's always
absolutely.
interesting to hear the way you talk, the way you write, the way you express yourself. It all comes out in a similar form. I like to see it on different mediums.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you coming out to do it. It's always a good time talking. I was like, every time I think about doing something like this, you're always the best one, because I feel like whenever we sit down, like obviously like there's some questions we'll cover and stuff, but then we just kind of start jiving, and it's fire.
Just gotta hit the shit and flip it.
Yeah, how much love, dude.
Just want go nuts and go hit it tight.